Bill Tupu, weren't it? He picked up an injury, but
they've got a lot of Tupus.
Yeah, they're picking up more injuries, which is worrying for Wakefield. That probably had an influence on how easy Cass were just able to run from wherever and score in the second half, it seemed, to be completely honest. And it was just like, who wants this next? Another team that let me down by the 2-try wing side not being where my dream team should have been. Yeah. Why does he have a game off a game? What's this about?
What's he getting a rest for?
Not happy with this at all.
What's Powell doing resting his squad? He's got fuck all to play for.
But anyway, big win in the end for Castleford, but I'm not sure if it fully reflects on the parity between these two sides. I'm not sure if there is the separation that the scoreline in the end might have suggested, because for a long period of this game, following along and seeing what was going on, Wakefield were every bit a match for Cass, and Liam Finn was every bit a match for Luke Gale for large parts. True. But it just blew apart, and the whole thing went crazy in the last 20 minutes. Every time I looked at the Twitter feed updating, it was a Tigers player with the face next to a try.
I know.
So big wins in metres. Did you follow any of this or anything?
Bits and pieces on Twitter, but to be honest with you, on Sunday afternoon I was kind of falling out with rugby league.
Good point. Oh yeah, I was listening to your game whilst following other games on Twitter. Big wins in metres per carry and team tackle success for the Tigers in this one, 1.3 and 5% respectively. So even bigger than what Warrington did to Huddersfield. They also made 5 fewer handling errors and had a few sets worth of extra carries. They could only convert that to 1 extra clean break, but they were able to go over for 4 more tries as they closed out the regular season as the second highest try scorers.
There you go. Individually then, who stood out for us?
Greg Minikin with 2 tries, 124 metres. Ryan Hampshire with a try and 176 metres. Junior Moores with a try, 11 tackle balls, 210 metres, 4 successful offloads. And Luke Gale, as you mentioned, he had a try and 3 try assists. For Wakefield, Joe Arundel popped up with 2 tries and 141 metres. David Fafita had 143 metres. Tinarawa Rona with 111 metres. And Liam Finn, 4 try assists.
I hope that someone at Wakefield who invents the chance manages to fit the word Tinirau into a version of Total Eclipse of the Heart. So there you go, Tinirau, and then come up with something. That's what I want to see.
Every now and then I've got a little prop forward.
Yes, you see. There we go. Every now and then he drops a little ball forward. There you go.
Well, he's only a little bloke, especially when you see him next to like the bigger lads like England and Walton.
I don't know how little Tinarau Rona would be to a common or garden person if you were to stand next to him. You just named 2 fucking beasts.
No, I know, but he doesn't look imposing as a front rower.
No, true. He's more of a Sam Mower front rower.
Maybe.
Okay, cool. Not individually, then you've done that. Fan reviews, that's my job. Tyler Cass fan got in touch, not as one-sided as the scoreline suggests. Cass struggled for 50 minutes. Fafita especially caused us a lot of trouble. But once our forwards got on top, we wrestled the initiative and never let go. 46 points without Solomona can't be too bad. Wakey White got in touch. He said Wakey were the best side for 60 minutes of this one. Then Gale decided he wanted to play and Cass scored 30 points in 20 minutes. Hopefully we just had one eye on the cup. ... Joe Cobb, 22. I suspect that this isn't the real Joe Cobb. I suspect once again someone not too far away from us has got in touch with a different name. But Joe Cobb, 22. Let's give him his. Let's pretend. He said, "Hi guys, I was wondering if you could clarify the rules around head-high tackles for me. I thought the rule was that they are fine unless a Wakey player does it. Then it's sending off and recommendation for a 6-match ban to the disciplinary panel. Please advise." Obviously, somebody not happy with Joe Cobb.
I don't know.
Fat Boy Rob got in touch.
Small club syndrome.
What do you reckon? Yeah, that's it. There are no small clubs, only small crowds. Fat Boy, which Wakefield have both. Fat Boy Rob. Did you watch? Sorry to get off. Did you watch the back chat special with the three chairmen on Thursday night?
No.
They had Mike Carter, obviously from Wakefield, and then my recollection of this has suffered slightly, but they had the Halifax chairman and the Batley chairman, and actually the Batley chairman spoke very eloquently about like running the clubs and the struggles that, I mean, because all 3 similarly sized teams, aren't they, and from similar areas, and it was interesting to hear hear them all talking. And there was a nice little bit of banter between the Halifax chairman and the Batley chairman when they were talking about dual registration. And I said, yeah, there are teams that do use it to their advantage. We felt like, to be frank, Batley got the advantage of their relationship with Castleford, and the Batley chairman was sort of leaning back on his stool and went, I hope so. Brilliant. It was really good. It's worth looking at. They don't do catch up, but if you see it on YouTube or something. Fatboy Rob, he said, I may not have bothered when I saw the team, but I had a ticket. Cass had at least 10 players out. Game 2 halves, with Cass lucky to be in touch at half time. Whatever Powell said worked. Wakey was simply blown away. Another season above Wakey. Hashtag never in doubt.
Well, there's 7 games to go.
I was going to say, there's time yet, Rob. Yeah. There's time yet. Final game of the weekend then saw Widnes take on the Catalan Dragons. Called it. 32 points to 4 in favour of the Widnes Vikings.
Yeah, fuming with Widnes.
I bet you are. It's cost you big, that.
Now listen, fuming with Catalan too.
Let's talk about Catalan, because Catalan had their big names back. Carney was back in the side, Stewart was back in the side. This would have changed
things totally around.
Jody Broughton was back in the side. Big Dave Taylor came and played. They had 12 out of 17 of that squad was French players. All the good stuff that we've been talking about Catalan Dragons this season was there for them to utilise.
Yeah, they're non-French players. It was the big names that were on the field, weren't it?
Yeah, and in a game where I was looking forward to watching some of the tries and seeing a bit of Joe Mellor versus Todd Carney, it was the Joe Mellor team that won 32 points to 4. It's a comprehensive victory for a Widnes side. Catalan are starting to drop away now, and it's worrying. It's not just a blip of 2 or 3. Yeah. This is like 4 or 5 weeks where Catalan are falling out of it, and this, what was a promising season, is just going to end in it's going to be snuffed out.
Yeah, there was a glimmer, wasn't there? Like, they went in 14-4 behind at half time, the Dragons, and then they basically started the second half with a string of penalties that got themselves into really good field position, and they just couldn't capitalise on that. And then it was very similar to the Cass storyline, in that every time I looked at the screen, it was so and so try. Another team that messed me up on my dream team. I was Reece Hanbury.
Yeah, I know. He's in my dream team.
Corey Thompson playing fullback.
Was he on fullback?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Did a good job by the looks of the stats and the tries that he scored.
Doesn't help us, does it?
No, I wasn't happy. I dropped a lot of points from people doing well in the position where my player should have been. Doesn't
help me later on when we do our bit for This Week in League, because I put Corey Thompson rampant on the wing, and we have to change that now before we record.
But there you go. Yeah. I've seen a bit of the footage of this. It just looked a little bit like the kind of stuff we've seen from Widnes when they're on form this year. Sort of a lot of running around from the halfbacks to set up position that'll open up spaces. The halfbacks asking questions of the defenders, and the defenders not being able to answer them. And Kevin Brown confirmed in the matchday programme, didn't he, that he wasn't going to be leaving the club.
Which is great.
That's a non-spectacular way of referring to the story, rather than trying to make a headline for clickbait. He's not staying at the club.
Yeah.
He is staying at the club.
Yeah. No, that is great news for Widnes. The longer they can keep those two together, Mellor and Brown, the more chance they have of growing that team around them, and Hanbury as well. Keep that spine together.
Yes, it's good.
Throw in a couple of hookers there with White and Hanbury, with White and Harry.
It's good for them to have consistency in that key position, and especially when it's a position that both those two players have had individually great years. Brown not this year, but last year maybe more so. But if they had a great year together, like they had a great 3 or 4 weeks together earlier this year, and they were putting 50s up against everyone, Hull and Leeds and whoever,
beating you at your spot.
Yeah,
it was good.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell the story of this one then.
Dragons were absolutely their own worst enemies, with 16 errors and 9 and 11 penalties conceded to 6. This gave Widnes much more ball, and even though Catalan's tackle success was improved on recent weeks, probably because of your man the Gift being back, 6 more breaks for Widnes, 374, 3 more metres, 4 more tries. That for Catalan, under 900 total metres is not going to win you a game in Super League.
Individually, who stood out for Widnes?
Joe Mellor with a try, 6 tackle busts, 113 metres, 3 clean breaks was instrumental. Corey Thompson played well at fullback, 1 try, 6 tackle busts, 174 metres. Hep Cahill, one of the most frequent appearers in the stats roundup this year, 130 metres. And Matt Whitley, will give him some credit for his defensive effort. Not the biggest of second rowers, but certainly improving this year. And this time it was his defence, 41 tackles and 10 marker tackles. Normally I'm talking about the attacking lines he runs, but good effort from young Matt there.
Did anybody stand out for the Dragons?
Jason Battieri put up 49 tackles, so good knock from him.
Fantastic. Fan reviews then. Paul O'Brien, who's a Widnes fan, he said, great performance from the Vikings today. Good in both attack and defence, some great tries and big performances from the players. Tyler Cass fan, who I've just been reminded by this one, he really hates the Catalan Dragons. Fat not fit wins you nothing. Great to see Catalans capitulating. You can't win a Grand Prix with a steamroller. And Alan Walker, who's a Catalan Dragons fan, said, didn't see the Dragons today, I must have been on the wrong beach. I'm going to add hashtag slaughterhouse visit for him, because slaughterhouse visit for someone.
Yeah,
there's no meat trays getting handed out round St. Steph this week.
Maybe he'll be happy that he doesn't have to put on as many sort of dues.
Saved him a bit of money.
Yeah,
that's it. Morgan Escray, no sign of him in the starting 17 either for Catalan. Okay, what was the tail of the round, Mark?
Second best round for 40-20s in the league this year, and most of those kicked by losing sides. I would add, which was strange.
That's interesting.
Second worst round for errors. Most of those done by Wigan Warriors.
So you've certainly helped with that one, and only made it the second worst round, which beggars belief, really.
Well, it was that the highest round was the one that had the Hull FC at Warrington game, where it was 21 plays 20 in the error count.
Oh, was that the lacquered ball gate game?
Yeah.
Right, I remember now. Okay, predictions and Super Brew and Dream Team updates, Mark. How did things fare for us all?
Well, you won the predictions, 4 out of 6 to my 3 out of 6. It was that last game that was quite pivotal, I felt, in that situation. Dar Garner stays top of the Super Brew, so going strong for Dar there, going into the playoff phase. I assume we'll still be picking just like last year.
Yeah.
It's Colin Render with the yellow cap for the best weekly round, though, so well done to Col. Tom Eckley takes home the spoon, but I'm not sure he'll care too much with Warrington rising to second this week.
Should be happy. Okay, and in Dream Team, how are things going?
Well, Alan Bagley stays top of Dream Team. I don't even delete that bit from the rundown now, I just leave it in.
That's brilliant.
Second place Carl Hadfield, though, had the best weekly round. He pulled back a whole 10 points on Alan.
That's fantastic work.
Which doesn't really into the lead Al has, but well done to Carl, certainly, because if Al hadn't have joined the league, Carl would have been rocking it himself.
Absolutely. Okay, what does this little table have to do with things, Mark? Talk us through this. What have you put together for us?
Just thought I'd have a look if what would happen if at the end of the Super 8s every fixture is the same result as what it was in the regular season. Mm-hmm. And given the way a lot of teams took a lot of points of each other, Salford obviously won a good number of games even though they didn't make the 8s for sort of other reasons, really, in the end. And then Leeds and Huddersfield both knocked off some bigger teams, as well as losing to middle-of-the-table teams. Yeah. The actual balance of things just means that it's going to be stay as you are.
Right.
The top 4 teams all won 4 games of the 7 that they'll be playing in the corresponding fixtures. And but Widnes and Wakefield only won a couple of those corresponding fixtures. So basically, as you are. So it would be looking for Catalan to pull something out of the bag. Maybe their surprise one was losing at home to Wakefield, wasn't it? So
that was close,
that could switch it around there in that area. Wigan's surprise one, probably on the balance of the whole season, was losing at home to Widnes. Yeah. So they might be able to address that in this stage of the competition. They're sort of some of the ones you'd be looking at as one swinging either way. The really interesting fixtures will be Hull FC against Warrington, because that one tends to go with the away teams, although Hull FC did cling on for a very close win at home against Warrington this year.
All right, so we shall see. So if that's the way things end up, then the semi-finals would be what? Hull versus St Helens and Wigan versus Warrington?
Well, Hull hosting St Helens and Warrington hosting Wigan.
Oh, very good. Okay, that's Super League round 23 well and truly covered. Let's take a look at some results from elsewhere now in the world of rugby league. So into round 23 of the Championship then, final round of Championship play before we split off for the Super 8s, and we saw Whitehaven defeated at home by 14 points to 32 against the Sheffield Eagles. The £500,000 game, as it was dubbed, was played out between Bradford and Featherstone down at Post Office Road, and the part-timers of Featherstone deserved winners 20 points to 0 against a hapless and lacklustre bottle-losing Bradford Bulls side. We got some feedback on this one, Mark. Do you want to do the honours?
Yeah, Shoddy and Mungo, that's Alan Cale, to the uninitiated. He said, not